Okay, everybody, this is Sawyer. We're over here with another comic book reviewing video or whatever. First up, we have Green Arrow, Mike Grail, The Longbow Hunters, Book 3, Tracking Snow. I really like this series. I love anything that Mike Grail does, Green Arrow related. He's a pioneer in the character. He's pretty much the reason why the character is what it is today. Um, the TV show Arrow is heavily influenced by his particular run of Green Arrow. Because before this guy came along to Green Arrow was very much kind of a throwaway character. He was basically just like a copycat of Batman. And some people would say he still is a copycat of Batman, but this run definitely kind of probably did the best job of changing him up and making him a little bit different. It went very bare bones. They got rid of it. They got rid of his wealth. They made him this kind of this poor guy who used normal arrows. And he just basically they took away his code. They took away his morality of not going to kill people. He was definitely fine killing bad guys. He was very much a vigilante, very much a justice social warrior that was out to help the little guys, and and he didn't care about the company men and stuff. They were the bad guys and all that kind of stuff. He was very much sticking up for the little man. So yeah, definitely a very interesting evolution of the character that we just associate with the character now. Then next up we have the comic number 8. This is from Impact Comics, and this issue he's fighting the Web, which is basically like Impact's version of Shield. They're like a kind of like a government issued police force that fights the more crazy type of stuff. Next up we have Legion of Superheroes. Tales of Legion of Superheroes number 325. This is just one of those old Legion of Superheroes books from the 80s or whatever. And I hate that it has a sticker on it because the stickers are annoying. And whenever I used to buy comics from a little gas station by my house, and they always had these stickers on them. And I'm sure there's a really easy way to get them off, but I don't ever try to get them off because I'm always worried I'm going to mess the book up. But I'm sure there's some kind of I don't know, you can use a blow dryer or something and probably just heat it up and get the sticker off real easy. Then we have another Legion of Superheroes book. This is a bit newer. Mark Waid did this book. This is from a couple years back. I collected the first maybe year of it, and then I just kind of fell off of it. That was kind of back whenever I was trying to complete runs. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't usually complete a run. I just pick up books as I see fit, or as I see them or whatever. And every once in a while, there's a new book that comes out, and I'll be like, okay, this book just started. I'm gonna get every issue of it, and I'm gonna complete the run. But it never happens. I usually complete like the first 12 or so issues or whatever, and then I just kind of fall out, and I stop going to the shop as much or whatever, and then they keep piling up, and then by the time I know it, there's like 20 issues I have to buy, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So that happens a lot. Next up we have Omega Man, number 12. Omega Man is like I don't remember too much about it. I just know that excuse me. I just know the only reason why I collect these, or why I was picking these up, is because I was a Legion of Superheroes fan, and the Omega Man was I want to say they were characters that were in no, I think I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm not sure. But I think the Omega Man were characters that originally appeared in Legion of Superheroes. They were kind of like a secondary team that was in Legion of Superheroes, and that they would interact with. So I think I picked some of those up. If that's what I think it is, I could be completely wrong. DC kind of had a lot of sci-fi stuff going on. Next up we have Wild Dog. This is Wild Dog number 1. I want to say this is the first appearance of Wild Dog because it's the first issue of the 4-part miniseries. Or no, he probably originally appeared in Avengers comics. There's a bunch of Avengers comics issues with Wild Dog in it. But I picked this cover up. I think I was at like a flea market or something. They had this for dirt cheap. I mean, it's really beat up. You can tell, and it's not worth much anyway. But it's just a cool cover, and I like the character. I always kind of like the character, but since he got put in Arrow, he's even more awesome now. And and at least people are actually starting to know who the character is now, because he's kind of, before Arrow, he was very much a completely E rank hero, not even D rank, just way down there. Then we have Apocalypse Underworld number 1. nothing really special about this. It's like kind of a, you know, one of those 2000s, I don't know, like ugly looking art. I don't like this art at all. Cover. Then we have Turok number 1, the holographic cover. This one's a little messed up. It needs a press really bad. It's got a really bad, like, you know, bend in it or whatever. I don't even know if a press could fix that, honestly. But yeah, I really love these. I really love the Turok and Valiant. They were some great stories and really bloody, really savage. Next we have Bloodshot, another Valiant book. This is like the new Valiant that they re-imaged themselves a while back. Number 6. I love Bloodshot, man. He's a great character. Like, whenever I explain Bloodshot to people who don't know who Bloodshot is, I usually like open up with, he's like Punisher and Wolverine, and you throw them together, and that's what you get. But that's just a very simple way of saying it. But yes, he's got like, you know, he's got like the guns, and he's got like kind of like the vigilante mentality and the military mentality, like Punisher. But he's also got like the kind of the savagery and the kind of the healing factor, and you know, just like the man-made, the experiment factor going on that Wolverine has. So it's kind of an interesting mix. But yeah, this is a great issue. This is part of the Harbinger War storyline, where he basically, you found out that he was in, that back in the day he used to have to like go out and hunt and catch these little kids that were Harbingers, and he tracked them all. He would bring them to the government. The government had them in this facility. And then in this story, it's when he's in present day, and he remembers this, and he realizes that he was doing it wrong back then. So he goes and tries to break these kids out. But it's been a couple years, so the kids are all like scared of him. They remember him as being the boogeyman who put him in here, and they've started to develop their powers. So he basically has to fight all these kids are trying to kill him because they're like, oh, it's a boogeyman, come to get us. And it's a really interesting story. You know, it's kind of, I like how it's, you know, he's trying to redeem himself for things he did in the past, but his victims or whatever are not, you know, they're not having it. And then we have Thanos number 1. This is another one of those books, a million books that I'm always talking about that I pick up randomly. They're like $1. I thought it was a cool cover, and since, you know, Infinity War was coming out soon, I figured Thanos is kind of a hot character. And I haven't talked about this much in my videos, but I do have like a little business page on Facebook, and I do have like a kind of like a, I wouldn't say a shop, but I do have like I do sell books. Like I go to like little trade shows every once in a while in my town, and I sell books. I also just sell books locally. I haven't really messed around too much with it on like online yet, because I'm not the best at shipping books off. But that's something I'm looking to do in the future. And so yeah, so besides picking up books that I think are cool, I also pick up a lot of books that I just think other people would like. So since I do know Thanos is a popular character, and you know, it's like $1, I was like, hey, why not? It's the first issue. It's Thanos. The movie's coming out. Maybe some random people that are just getting into comic books will be like, hey, I want a Thanos book. That was my mentality with that book. Next up, we have the Great Lake Avengers. I don't even know what number it is. Oh, number 2. Okay. Yeah, I just picked this up just kind of for the weird factor. You know, the Great Lake Avengers are kind of like this really crappy team of heroes that like protect a certain area. You know, and I forget exactly where they first appeared. I think it was in the West Coast Avengers or something. But yeah, it's kind of like the Legion of Substitute Heroes, if you know who those guys are. They're just basically a team of really crappy heroes that couldn't get on the Avengers, so they made their own team. Next up, we have this really cool classic, you know, 50s cover for classic illustrateds of Robin Hood. I actually have quite a few of these that I found somewhere, and I like them. They're cool. Most of them are pretty beat up. You know, they're not. This one's actually in pretty good condition, but most of them are pretty beat up. And they're basically what this is like way back in the day. I don't actually know how old these are, but way back in the day, they used to make these, you know, basically taking like classic novels and stuff and making them into a comic book form. I mean, they've done this so many times over the years, but this is just a particular series that they did, and they all had these cool covers. There were all these really big shaped books, and these are almost like magazine shaped books. They're usually like 15 cents, which is actually which is a great deal for the amount of pages in the story you get in these. Which makes me think they're actually really old. Yeah, this is the Robin Hood one. I love the art though. I just think it's cool. I think it's really nice, kind of like painted art, but not really painted. But it looks like it's painted. I guess it probably is. I don't know. I'm not an art major. Next up, we have Legion of Superheroes number. I don't know, because the part that says the number has been ripped off. As you can see, this book's in really bad condition. But yeah, I grabbed this one because it's an old Legion of Superheroes book, and it's got this guy right here, this black character. I forget exactly what his name is, but he's a really little known character from the Legion of Superheroes. It doesn't get used really anymore, and he was kind of cool because he's like this character that he's from this other he's from this like pocket dimension or something, and his pocket dimension only opens up like once every few years. So basically, like he would come and join the Legion for a couple years, and then he'd go home for a couple years. So he's really kind of in and out a lot, and they don't use him that much because of that, But he is kind of an interesting character. I just wish I could remember his name. Something that starts with a T or something. I don't remember exactly. But next up we have The Thing and Machine Man. This is Marvel 2-in-1 number 93. The little team-up book they always had. Machine Man's a character that doesn't really get used quite as much as you think he would. Like, he's just kind of a second-rate character, really. But he's cool. I think he's one of those. If I remember right, he's like a Jack Kirby creation. So. Next up, we have Dr. Spectrum. Is that how you say it? This is an old Gold Key book. I love these old Gold Key covers, guys. They're so cool. This one, he's fighting Dracula, as you can see in the main part of the cover. There's also Dr. Spectrum down there. My camera is really weird. I need to maybe sit somewhere different, because every time I show a book, I'm covering my face. Oh, and also a cool detail I didn't notice at first is the fact that the woman has like her head's like got like a zip on it, so it looks like you just open her head up. That's kind of weird, but yeah. This character is basically like an old school kind of Doctor Strange type of character. I wouldn't say Doctor Strange. He's more like maybe like Kojak. Remember the Kojak, the Night Stalker or whatever, kind of like that. He's like this guy who basically hunts supernatural things and fights supernatural creatures. I don't think he really has powers, but he has like knowledge of the arcane arts and stuff. But yeah, pretty cool book. I think Dynamic brought this character back and did a new series of them, because that's what Dynamic does. They take these old obscure characters and bring them back. Next up, we have Buck, the Zap Gun Vahaya, number 1. I don't really know anything about this. This is just this is one of those underground comics. I picked this up because it was like really cheap one day in my shop, and it was autographed. You can see. Now the autograph is made out to the guy who owned this book. It says to Jamie. I'm not Jamie, so. But anyway, I bought this book because it was kind of interesting to me. And I did look at it when I first bought it. It's kind of like a comedy, kind of like a parody of like. It's basically a parody of like Flash Gordon type stuff. Like the suave, human American guy that's like on an alien planet fighting for the justice of the planet. Except this guy is more of a fat slob and lazy and stuff, and he just happens to kind of get into stuff because he's a gun for hire, but he just kind of gets thrown into these situations. And yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty out there. Next up, we have Looney Tunes. I don't know. All I know is that's a March issue. It's a March issue. This is another one of those books I picked up from a flea market a long time ago, just like the Robin Hood one. They're like these old, big, oversized books. This one's done by Dell. This one's it's in bad shape. Well, I say it's in bad shape. It is in bad shape. The spine's really messed up. But yeah, I don't know. Like I think I got those books for like 50 cents a piece or something. And whenever I can get a book that old, I don't care what it's about. If I can get a book that old for 50 cents, I will do it, because it's like getting a part of history. Like, yeah, I'm not really a big Looney Tunes guy. I watched them when I was little, but I'm not really a big Looney Tunes guy. But if I can get a comic book that's like I think these books are from like the 50s, like early 50s. If I can get a book that's that old, it's like almost in the Golden Age era, I'm gonna do it. Especially in town for like nothing. Because I only own one Golden Age book, and I will maybe show it one day, and it's in terrible condition. But I just bought it because it's a Golden Age book. You don't see those every day. And then the last book we have in this video is actually nothing special. Usually, sometimes I try to save like a kind of a cool book to talk about at the end, but in this video I did not do that. So we just have a Legion of Superheroes book from '87. It's number 344. And it's just this cover, like, I think that's, who is that, Archer Boy? Archer Boy is grabbing Phantom Girl and he's saving her. There's Chameleon Kid, or whatever his name is in the bottom. He's it's a fly. And they're fighting this guy. And I don't remember this villain very well. I do know that he's like a villain that has like his own planet. Or he has like this, he's like a leader of like this floating meteor planet or something. It's like a gladiator deathmatch world. And he's always like he would always catch members of the Legion and make them fight each other. So one of those kind of villains, kind of similar to Mongrel, the Zeppelin villain. How he has his own planet where he makes people fight and all that, and it's like a warrior-based society. So kind of like that. But alright, guys, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, this that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks.